what are you trying to accomplish? Is it, also, you have to understand, we're Yidden. Our goal is to raise Erlich Yidden. That's the goal. It's not to walk away with the table of elements. Although yes, you want them to know the table of elements. Okay, but what happens if they don't? What's going to happen if they don't? And you know what? I would love to see. Take a parent.
What are table elements? Like, what does that mean?
This guy went to school. And,
they need to get that edited out.
Anyway, beep that one, Thrilly. Beep. That's his name, Thrilly.
Yeah,
Thrilly. Anyway, so that you take a parent, that went through the schooling system,
right?
Give them a test from each one of their kids, the grades they're in. Let's see how they'll do. There's going to be that one parent. I'm a mathematician, so you take a science test. You know what I mean? Let's play that out for a second. Come on. There's a classic idea, which I'm sure has been heard. And that is, people are not going to remember what you say, but they're going to remember how you made them feel.
Boom. Put that on a magnet. It's really?
Yeah. Think back to you were in school for how many years? Did you go to Eretz Yisrael?
I went to Eretz Yisrael,
So before you went to Eretz Yisrael, did you go to 12th grade?
I did.
Okay, so show off, right? So you went.
You didn't go to 12th grade. Neither did I.
Didn't work out. I think we didn't go for different reasons, maybe. But
we'll get to that.
Kindergarten through 12th grade. I didn't do math, so my math ain't so good. But how many years is that? A couple, right?
Kindergarten to 12th grade.
Tell me what you remember. Tell me the names of the teachers. Just the names of the teachers, of all the teachers you had. Do you remember every teacher you had?
I think I remember most of them. In LA, I should say this, shout out to the chinuch in LA.
Oh,
they do a fabulous job of hitting this nakuda.
He's hitting kids.
No.
So he's trying to bash New York, this guy. Every
right?
time I speak to him.
I'm not bashing New York.
It's
I'm
first time
highlighting the milas of LA.
That's amazing. So now think back to pick even the greatest of whatever it is. So what did you learn? And then tell me the things that you learned over the year.
Right. It's going to be a long episode.
You learned for
well, you really learned a lot, you're saying.
You learn for 10 months of the year, whatever it is, 8 months, whatever you throw in the things. Okay, you learned social studies, and you know what? Let's make it long. Tell me everything. Tell me everything you learned in social studies. Exactly. There's so much information. Stop for a second and tell me what you think. Out of 100% of the information that you learned over the 12 years that you were in school, 13, 14 years that you were in school, how much percent do you remember that you can now take a test and you'll know it?
Very little. Come on. Very little.
I don't think I'm exaggerating. I say 10%.
Less.
Okay, so let's say 10% then, right? Because it was going to be less. Let's say 10%.
Okay.
But you remember when that teacher wasn't nice, and you remember when that teacher was nice. You remember when that teacher liked you, and you remember the teacher didn't like you. You remember when that teacher embarrassed you, and you remember when that teacher really came to your aid, right? So understand that. So what can be done? What can be done? The answer is Chanoch Lenar Pidarka, like you said, and that's just really try to understand the kid. What's the kid going through, and not enough of the regents are coming up and whatever. Just chill.
Shout out to the good Rebbeim out there. I had some good not
Rebbeim and good teachers.
Yeah, good teachers. Yeah. To your point, like you said when you said think about who taught you in those. There's two Rebbeim that came to my mind right away. Rabbi Yaron Halbertal from Far Rockaway. Rabbi Halbertal is my 7th grade Rebbe. Rabbi Halbertal and Rabbi Goldgrab. He was actually my Rebbe in 6th grade, and he was my English principal.
So who are the ones you didn't like?
Well, I'll tell you, I wasn't a good student, and Rabbi Goldgrab, first of all, in 6th grade, he the first test I took, it was I bombed, and I didn't care, whatever it was,
right.
Just didn't care.
Right.
And he sat me down, and he's like, "This is not what's happening this year," and he really instilled this belief in me, and because of that, it really helped me.
Gosh, my head is so much to talk about. The kids don't really know always how to express themselves, and they have a hard time, even if they do know how to express themselves, to actually approach and express themselves. Right. So they're going through stuff. Kids are going through stuff, and their head's in a different place. I had an amazing story from Rabbi Rietti. Rabbi Rietti told me that there was a mother that called up and said, "I don't do it with my kid. My kid, what a chutzpah! got suspended. What happened? He or she, I don't know if the kid, I think maybe it was a she or something. She asked the teacher how old she is. Can you believe the chutzpah? So first of all, I was like, I'm trying to understand the story, right? Okay, do you understand? So he said, "Oh, okay. Well, why'd you ask?" She goes, "What does it matter what she asked? Chutzpah. Why could you ask?" She goes, "Well, maybe you should find out." It's like, "No, it's irrelevant. What it's about?" Listen, you called me, right? You want just do me a tov and maybe just find out. So goes in and I think maybe they called the principal. I forget the exact order. They called the principal and they asked the principal, "What happened?" You know, said, "They asked how old." Well, why? What does it matter? So then they go back to the teacher. They asked how old. Why? So then they go to the kid. Ask your kid. You know, why did you ask that? So the kid says, "I overheard one of the teachers saying to our teacher, 'Happy birthday.'" So I was so excited. So I wrote, "Happy blank birthday, Mrs. or Mr. whatever the principal, whatever the teacher's name was." I went to all the kids and I got them all to sign and say happy birthday. Wow. The only thing I was missing was the age. I just wanted to write the age and to give the card to say happy birthday.
Wow. Chutzpah.
Exactly right. That's how you kill the story, right? So you say like, why is a kid doing that? What's going on in their head? Why being so intense? Like what's happening over here? Stop, understand, speak. So I had to start with Rabbi Kamenetsky, obviously. Maybe it's not obvious. Let me delete, beep. But I started with Rabbi Kamenetsky, Mr. Dolan, 11th grade.
Yeah.
I did really well. I get it for all. I don't know other teachers that are if they're going to see this. I'm not disregarding some of you. I am, and you're happy I am. Just make that clear.
And you know who you are.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. I can go through a lot of different teachers that were really, really helpful. But one in particular stands out was Mr. Dolan, 11th grade English, Christian guy, unbelievable self-respect, and instilled a certain. He said to us, he came in like the first day, and he said, "I want you all to know that I'm a Christian." A Jewish school, right? "I want you to know that I'm a Christian and I will be baptizing you soon." Got beep on that. Anyway, I want you to know.
Now a word from Bridge Credit Solutions.
I want you to know that I'm a Christian and I wear Christian paraphernalia, right? I wear like a necklace or whatever. But because
giant cross.
Because I'm in yeshiva, I'm in your school, out of respect for you, I put it under my shirt. But it's not because I'm embarrassed of what I believe in, it's out of respect for you. So that was an interesting.
Yeah, why do you say that? Yeah.
No, it was just interesting. Like a teacher spoke like this. Interesting. And I remember I wasn't doing so well and whatever. And he says to me, "Gavriel," that's what he called me. "Gavriel, you don't have to, I with the writing, the funnel and the beginning and the middle and the end, if you remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know you're talking.
So he goes that and he says, "I don't care what you write. Write whatever you want." I said, "Anything?" He's like, "No one's going to see it. You know, you just have to have the right structure and the proper sentencing and whatever fill the blanks." I was like, "Okay, great." And I found recently what I wrote. I cannot share with you. We would have a lot of beefs on this, what I wrote, but I got an A+. I got an A+, and I wrote it's insane what I wrote. It's really disturbing, but it was proper in the funnel and the thing. And he gave me that freedom of like, go ahead, it's okay, you know, and I respect you and whatever. And that feeling, I'm not saying there should be no discipline, and I'm not saying there should be no structure. I'm not saying there shouldn't be any yira. I'm saying a little ava, it's a little bit.
Like tough love.
You
means
can,
gotta be love.
but at least a little bit of the love. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, what is this? And I think there's just a lot of maybe power struggle that goes on. And okay, let me just take a step back before all the teachers are going to get upset at me. What do you want from me? There's, 25 kids in a class, and how am I supposed to do this? First of all, I live in Eretz Yisrael. My kids, there are 50 kids in a class. 50. So I want you to just think about that for a second. I don't know if you understand what that means even. 50 kids in a class every single day. Now try to imagine, the story.
It's like college.
Well, first of all, it is like college. But there's like 50 kids. You know the story about the guy who comes to his rabbi, my house is too small.
Yeah.
Bring in.
What does he say?
Bring some more stuff in.
Bring what?
Bring some animals in.
Yeah, bring in a cow. He's like, huh? Next week. Now what? He goes, keep it in. But bring in a goat also. Now sheep. Now bring in the roosters and the everything. He goes, Rabbi, this is crazy. He goes, now take everything out. So he takes all the kids out. Anyway, so he takes all the animals out. And he's like, wow, this is spacious. For all the teachers that are like, it's too much. I have 20 kids in my class. Let's give you 50, and I'll tell you what, I'll give you 25. Will that make it easier for you? Now, of course, it's still a challenge. But at the same time, just think about, what do you want your legacy to be as a teacher?